In the spring of 1969, 4 years after the first ground combat troops landed in Da Nang, there are more than 500,000 U.S. troops in Vietnam. But the war that once garnered the vast majority of America's support has drastically changed. Years of growing frustration over a military strategy that focuses on enemy bodies instead of territory has caused public support to plummet. And for the first time, the American soldiers in Vietnam are feeling the effects of the anti-war movement at home. Having run on a campaign pledge of peace with honor, 6 months after taking office, President Nixon meets with South Vietnamese President Nguyen Van Thieu and announces his plan to end American involvement in Vietnam.
After 5 years in which more and more Americans have been sent to Vietnam, we finally have reached the point where we can begin to bring Americans home from Vietnam.
The U.S. military now begins the long and complicated process of withdrawing American troops and training the South Vietnamese to take over full combat responsibilities. The strategy is called Vietnamization.
Our hearts and minds aren't here. They're back home, where most of us think we belong.
24-year-old Don DeVore is an artilleryman with the 1st Infantry Division, stationed at Firebase Gym, just north of Saigon. 9 months earlier, DeVore received his draft notice at the same time his wife found out she was pregnant.
Last fall, when my wife told me she was pregnant and I got my draft notice, I recall being
violently sick to my stomach. I mean, it was just an awful feeling. I had no desire to go into the service. I had no desire to probably have to go to Vietnam. We all really had the same mission. Let's get this over with.
Let's stay safe, and let's get back home to our families. Because we all know we're trying to get the hell out of here.